Good morning, everybody. Welcome. This is the Village of Oak Lawn Board of Trustees regular meeting. We are meeting here in the Village Hall Auditorium, 9446 South Raymond Avenue. This is meeting number 2023-08. It is Tuesday, April 25th, 2023, and it is 9 a.m. Call to order, please. Roll call.
Mayor Vorder.
Present.
Trustee Desmond.
Present.
Trustee Sack.
Here.
Trustee Pembroke.
Here.
Trustee Malo.
Here.
Trustee Olenichek is absent. Trustee Stalker.
Here.
We have a quorum. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, any public comments?
There were none.
Any trustees have any problem with anything on this agenda today? Hearing none, we'll move on to number 6, presentation by Beds Plus. Please step up to the microphone.
This way.
Over here. Morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Tina Rounds. I'm the Executive Director of Beds Plus, and I'm coming today just to request a zoning determination letter for the purchase of a building in Oak Lawn in order to utilize it for interim housing. So if you will, I'd like to just talk to you a little bit about about the organization and what we'd plan to do with that building. First of all, on page 2 of your slide, it's a little bit about the organization's work. Our mission is to assist vulnerable individuals with housing and supportive services. We are the HUD recipient in the southwest suburbs. We provide nearly 3,000 people with services of housing and financial assistance. We facilitate federal, state, and county rental assistance, manage about 120 units of housing in southwest suburban Cook. We run emergency services as well as housing supports for various populations. On slide 3, you'll see our overall partnership with the Village of Oak Lawn. I believe we have a really strong partnership with the Village of Oak Lawn. I've personally worked in the village for about 7 years. We took over a shelter system from South Suburban PADS about 7 years ago. We're the annual CDBG contract for the Village of Oak Lawn, and we're included in your comprehensive plan. We support the local municipality with coordinating community members and getting them connected with care. We also worked with your village to align the shelter system, which when we took over, it was 6 shelters in the Village of Oak Lawn, consolidated that to two, and raised private money in order to make those shelters compliant with fire safety standards. And what you may not know is we do partner with Advocate Aurora Health for hospital discharge, so to reduce the overall impact on the community. And you'll see a letter in this packet from our contact at Advocate Aurora Health. We also partner with Pathlights and received a $700,000 grant to house older homeless individuals, and we're actively involved in community organizations. I've listed on the next slide our overall development experience, which does include developing from scratch, buildings, one of which is in LaGrange, which is a $6.8 million project. We recently built a $3.8 million medical respite facility in Summit. We have various condos that we own in the community, and we've acquired other buildings, namely one in LaGrange. On the next slide, you'll see our overall model of care. We are not the shelter of the past, which was, kind of a one-stop shop. Everybody would come to the churches and try to get connected with care. We've learned over time, and so has the model evolved, that having specific places for people to go, having kind of a graduated system of care, having owned and fixed facilities that we can have, control over and, manage the care of individuals really does overall help get someone to stabilization and differentiate people who are interested in working with us and are those that are unable to work with us. And what we're proposing is to turn this 24-unit multifamily building into an interim housing program, which you can see where that model kind of fits. It's really deep into our program as people wait for their own permanent location. So the property in question is at 4207 95th Street. It's a 24-unit building consisting of 20 one-bedroom apartments that are just under 500 square feet and 4 two-bedrooms. It's a condominium conversion, of which we'd like to do some improvements of the building. We do have $4.2 million, of which some comes from Cook County for this purpose, as well as we've got a congressionally directed spending with Advocate Aurora Health. We'd like to modernize the facade, create landscape that is beautiful, and it supports the community as well as kind of deters people from spending too much time in the courtyard. We'd like to bring it up to full fire safety compliance and add a security system that would link to your police department, so that you can have greater observation on 95th Street and for a pretty big parking lot behind the building. We'd like to upgrade the units and make 2 of the units fully accessible. So, we do have individuals in wheelchairs, and it is really difficult to find units that are fully accessible for those individuals. So we'd like to create that for 2 of the apartments. And because we will be using federal funds, we would transition all the individuals that are currently there being rented from the condominium owners. So we may give up to 18 months of rental assistance for those individuals, and that's already part of our budget in this plan. So they would be transitioned to other locations. On the next slide, you can see some of our partners in the program. We're working with an expert planning and finance team. We'd be delighted to work with your community development department to make sure that it's of the village's liking and that we fit with your community's plan and with 95th Street look and feel. Some of the client requirements and the rest of the packet really goes into how we would operate. You can see that the client requirements, we would only allow individuals in this development that have a housing plan and have a plan towards permanency. So it would be people that have been working with us for some time and have an option to move on. They'd have to be actively engaged. It would be a place for people who were otherwise in our medical respite. So they came from the hospital due to surgery and then could live there while we work on permanent solutions. We would have restrictions on who would be allowed to live there, and people would have leases that they'd need to abide by, of which I've included in the packet. We would convert one of the laundry rooms. There's 2 laundry rooms at this building into an office so that we could have a professional case manager every day during business hours, and convert one of the units into a manager's unit. We have services like food. We have, case management services, employment services, medical services. So that would all be there and available for not only for the clients that are living on site. So again, what I've attached in the rest of the packet is a letter of endorsement and confirmation of some of the funds, congressionally directed funds, as well as our current application we utilize, the lease we would look to have with each of the clients, and then finally the program parameters that outlines what we're currently doing. We are currently doing this project through a leased motel in Countryside, which started about 2.5 years ago. So you can see just how we manage and work with our participants. So again, our request to the village and to the Board of Trustees is a zoning determination letter. This is what we would require in order to open up the county funds. It's something that states that the village does allow this use. We also will need the village's cooperation in converting, approving the transaction of conversion from condominiums to apartments. And then finally, we'd like to work with you to create any restrictive covenants or things that would help this 24-unit apartment building fit more harmoniously and put any necessary protections in with your village. We do have a similar agreement with the village of LaGrange. And, we provide reports on a regular basis and, have inspections and so forth. And I know that's already in your code. So we would be happy to be fully compliant with that.
Well, thank you, Tina. Thank you for your presentation. It's a lot to digest for the Board of Trustees. I would suggest you move through our zoning process with our staff.
Okay.
Over the next short period of time, and then perhaps we can digest all that information,
Sure,
come
certainly.
to a conclusion, either help you or what.
Terry, I have one question.
Yes, yeah.
Security, is there plan for security? Is there on-site security? Is there plans for
That's,
things like that?
yeah, so in our other buildings, we have cameras that are, we work with the village. We would work with the village to have those cameras strategically placed in areas. In our LaGrange facility, we have it, directed towards a corner where there's a lot of traffic, and then the police can get direct access to that. But then we will have an on-site, manager, so a building manager who will serve as kind of the eyes and ears. We have our 24-hour line that people can call and get access to their case manager as well.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yeah, is this building currently occupied?
It is currently occupied.
And what's the occupancy rate?
Well, it's 24 units, and they're all fully occupied. And most of the people are on short-term leases.
Okay, so what would happen to them?
Because we're receiving federal funds for this program, we would be mandated to help those individuals transition out and provide some rental assistance.
Okay.
Yes.
Question, Terry, the on-site employment or case managers, what are going to be their hours? It's strictly,
Typically, they're their business hours. Typically, they're during the time that, you're able to get work done with people. So taking them to doctor's appointments, taking them, to particular agencies or, getting them, grocery shopping, things like that. So it would typically be business hours. And then
and in the initial stages, would there be anybody available to handle situations or concerns after regular business hours?
Sure, yeah. That's, in LaGrange, our 13-unit building in LaGrange, we have an on-site building manager, and he's available evenings and weekends. So we would use that same model here.
Okay. And who would have the contact information for that person?
Everybody would have it, we could, we work with your village. Yeah, we work with your village. They, several officials have, all of our contact information, including my cell,
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions? I have one.
Sure.
Would this
Mayor?
property be taken off the tax rolls?
It would eventually, yes. We would
Okay.
petition for that.
All right, thanks for your presentation.
you very
Please work
much.
with our staff, okay, and hopefully we can work with you.
Sir? I do, yes. Certainly, yes. Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Tina. Okay, we'll move on to number 7, approval of closed meeting minutes 2023-04, dated March 14th, 2023. Motion, please.
So
Motion to approve.
Second. Roll call.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Motion approved. Approval of regular meeting minutes 2023-07, dated April 11th, 2023. Motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Motion approved. New business by village trustees, District 1.
Thank you, Mayor. Just one quick thing. Now that the weather is warming up, people are out in the streets again. I've noticed again people parking on the sidewalks, and I've seen people having to push a stroller off the sidewalk over the grass in the parkway out in the street and back up the other side. Same with people walking dogs. So could people please be a little considerate? The sidewalks are for walking on, not for parking. So please be aware of that when you're parking. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you, trustee. District 3.
Thank you, Mayor. No new report.
District 4.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I just want to mention that as spring is coming, that our residents would please slow down on the side streets around the houses and residential areas. Just my observation in my district, and I'm out there all the time. I'm just so concerned about things that could happen at the intersections, particularly the uncontrolled intersections. So please slow down and stop for stop signs, please.
Thank you,
Mayor.
trustee. You know, that's the most common complaint I think I
all
received
the
throughout
time.
my whole career as a policeman. People speeding on streets. Back in the day, I'd set up radar cars. I would catch your residents speeding.
Oh, yeah.
This is not.
It's our
there's a
neighbors,
normal
it's the people we see in church and everywhere.
Yeah, right, but you have to be conscious that it's a residential neighborhood, the speed limits are 20 miles an hour. 30 miles an hour is a pretty fast speed down the street, so your point is well taken, but it's a continuing, ongoing problem. District 5, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to mention the fact that the mayor and I went down to Springfield to the Illinois Municipal League meetings last week. The normal agenda is to meet our legislators and to discuss local issues. At this particular meeting, though, the new mayor of the city of Chicago took over most of the time and spoke to a joint session of the legislature, but we did get the opportunity to talk a lot about what is happening with the government. One of the main issues that we addressed was the a hope to restore the local government distributive fund revenues. Now, what that is that when the state legislature developed the local income tax in the state of Illinois, it was the intention to give local villages, communities, 10% of the collected funds from that state income tax. Over the years, since that tax has been in place, the state has slowly degraded our consumption of that fund, and now we're down to about 6.1%. At times it was as low as 4%. So the state likes to use that money to balance their budget, but we'd like to use that money to balance ours. So anyway, we did do some lobbying to reinstate the 10% share of the Illinois distributed funds to the village of Oak Lawn and other communities in the area. This attempt will help us keep our budget in balance and hopefully continue the duration of stable property taxes in Oak Lawn. It's been one of our biggest goals is to make sure that people don't, just because they own a home doesn't mean that they have to pay an expansive version of the cost of running a village. So we did discuss that. It got a lot of attention, and hopefully something will be done. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, trustee. Excellent presentation. District 6.
No report this morning.
Thank you. We'll move on to the village manager's report.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. I just have one item. I wanted to point out that after almost 25 years of labor strife and acrimony, I'm elated to report that yesterday our fire department ratified a 4-year contract with the village after a year and a half of rigorous negotiations. It was a great process. We put a lot of the bad blood behind us. I can't say enough for our fire chief's efforts, Fire Chief Zach Riddle, the preparation that he did for us. Union President Jeff Kane, past President Scott Sillis led the charge for Local 3405. Assistant Manager Jerry Dillon, Finance Director Adam Metz, HR Director Jane Vulich played prominent roles, and our fire liaison, Trustee Oliniechek, and past liaison Ralph Sock also were instrumental in getting the deal done. It was a fair deal, and again, as someone who was involved in a lot of those problems for the last 23 years, it was a great day for Oak Lawn. I just wanted to make sure, and the board's support in that regard is important. So yesterday it was a unanimous vote, I understand, Chief? Yes, sir. So kudos to everybody involved, and that's all I have this morning.
Thank you.
Congratulations, great job.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's a great accomplishment for this board, for you, Tom, for the fire department. It's been a strife issue with our union for a long, long time. To reach this settlement speaks to the services we deliver to the people of Oak Lawn at the best cost possible. Again, thanks everybody for their participation.
I'm sorry, Mary, I left one person out. The attorney to your right, Tom Melody, was also instrumental in providing guidance,
Okay,
as he
Thank you.
smirked over there.
thank you, sir. All right, we move on to the consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine and have been brought forward at the direction of the Board of Trustees, Village Manager, or Village Committees, and will be enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. A, request the Board of Trustees approval for the 13th Annual Germanian 5K Walk Run on Saturday, October 21st, 2023, at St. Germain School. And B is request Board of Trustees approve the waive the village incurred fees associated with that Germanian 5K run. C, Ordinance 23-08-28, an ordinance amending certain sections of Title IX, 4B-2, water rates charges of the Village of Oak Lawn Code relative to water rates and charges. D, Resolution 23-08-19, a resolution approving a contract with Samir Landscaping, LLC, to perform the 2023 annual flower installation beautification program. E, Resolution 23-08-20, a resolution approving a contract with Samir Landscaping, LLC, to perform the 2023 grass cutting edging program. F, Resolution 23-08-21, a resolution waiving competitive bidding and approval of a proposal from JX Truck Center for a new engine for Village 2009 E1 Typhoon pumper. G, Resolution 23-08-22, a resolution approving a contract with Torrey Construction, LLC, for the Oak Lawn Reich Water Plant roof replacement. And H, Resolution 23-08, a resolution waiving the competitive bidding and approval of the purchase of a new 2024 Freightliner tandem axle chassis from Truck Center Incorporated with an added Monroe truck dump body. Motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Motion approved. Village Clerk's report.
We have disbursement resolution number 2023-08D dated April 25th, 2023, in the amount of $1,592,574.68.
Motion, please.
Motion.
The bills.
Second.
Second. Roll call.
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Motion passes. The village president's report. I have a mayoral proclamation for Arbor Day here in Oak Lawn. Whereas in 1872, the Nebraska Board of Agriculture, established a special day to be set aside for planting trees, and whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, was first observed with planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska, whereas trees are renewable resources giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fire, and countless other wood products, Whereas trees in the village increase property values, enhance the economic viability of business areas, and beautify in our community. Whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are sources of joy and spiritual renewal, and I now therefore proclaim the Village of Oak Lawn's president that April 28th, 2023 is Arbor Day in Oak Lawn. This is a mayoral proclamation and shall be enforced and in effect on April 23rd. And I want to thank the local reporters for their excellent articles on this thing. Oak Lawn is a tree of oaks. It was established that way, and we want to maintain our trees. We spent considerable amount of money trimming our parkway trees and maintaining them, replacing them. We work with our community, okay, to keep our trees in good shape, and I think I'm very proud, okay, that we received this recognition. All right, next on our agenda is an executive session. Executive session 2023-06 for the purpose of discussing one, closed meeting minutes, 2023-05, dated April 11, 2023, 2, pending litigation, 3, information regarding the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of a specific employee or employees of the Village of Oak Lawn, and 4, collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees for their representatives or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more class of employees. A motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second?
Trustee Desmond.
Yes.
Trustee Sack.
Yes.
Trustee Pembroke.
Yes.
Trustee Mallow.
Yes.
Trustee Stalker.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for coming out.